Hey YouTube land, welcome once again to another action figure review by Tycondrius. Now, please forgive the noisy background. Unfortunately, it's raining over here at the moment, so there is going to be background noise. The roof here is just a metal roof, so unfortunately the rain is pelting off it. But today we're having a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Wun-dar figure. Now, we'll go through the box first. So it comes in a mailer box, and then it comes in a standard Masters of the Universe box. The mailer box is kind of standard brown card with an image of Wun-dar on the front or the back, depending which way you're looking at it. So it has an image of him holding his axe on the front, and on the opposite side you have an image of him with his sword and blaster on the opposite side with his armor on. So, and it just has the Masters of the Universe logo up top. Let me throw on the lights, it makes it a little bit clearer. Masters of the Universe logo, the box, and then you have legalese stuff on the bottom. And inside the box, I've already taken the figure out, or the figure out of its clamshell. You have another box, which is the kind of more standard Masters of the Universe Origins style box. It says new for 22 up in the corner. Modern posing retroplay, Wun-dar the Savage He-Man. And then on the back of the box, instead of a cross cell that shows off the other figures in the wave, because this was a Mattel Creations exclusive, it shows Wun-dar battling evil undead skeleton creatures, which are also similar and reused for the skeleton creatures that Skeletor raises from the dead when he was attacking in some of the images where he's attacking Grayskull. He's in some sort of caverns, and you have an image of what's known as Battlegrounds Tila, but it's also she's also someone else in disguise, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So that's pretty much it for the box. The figure is just housed in the front like the standard ones. Now I have taken him out of the box. You see the clamshell. He does come with a mini comic as well, so we'll have a quick look through that as well. So bear with me a moment and we'll get the figure out and in front, and we'll get all the bits and trimmings for him as well. And here he is out of the packaging. Now he does come with a few accessories. Now I will state, should state straight out of the box, straight out of the start, I have managed to misplace one of these accessories, but I do have a counterpart of it that was reused within the line, and it's a very similar color. So you'll notice that this hand axe, which is he was shown with holding in the cover art, is actually way darker than the browns of the pistol and the sword it comes with. Now the reason for that is this is actually the one that came with Buzz Off, but it's the same axe, just done in that lighter brown color. Unfortunately, I've managed to misplace his axe. I know I have it, I just don't know where it went, but it's, for the most part, it's the exact same axe. There's no difference in the sculpting from what I could tell. It's also pretty much this, I think, the same axe that came with the Castle Grayskull. In fact, the sword is the same sword that comes with Castle Grayskull, the Origins Grayskull, just done in that brown plastic. And the pistol is the same pistol that came with the Zodak figure, just done in the brown plastic instead of the red plastic that Zodak's pistol comes with. Now he does hold his accessories. Unfortunately, unlike He-Man, because of the way his armor is designed, because it is essentially a black version of Hordak's, but Zodak's armor, he has no thing for holding the sword. You can kind of jab it in behind, but I wouldn't try and overstress these clips on the back. So it'd probably be best not to actually leave him with the sword in place. So essentially what this guy is, he is He-Man to a degree, but he is a repaint of He-Man. And the story behind him is that originally there was a mail-away figure, and he was going to be I think it was, there's kind of conflicting reports. Some people said he was like a mail away for the Wonder Bread. So, and he was known as Savage He-Man. And he also, so like there was kind of competition where you'd send off tokens or you'd collect tokens from Wonder Bread and send off, and you get this guy back with the brown kind of tan hair or brown hair. So if I bring in a standard Origins He-Man, just get him to stand up, you can see the skin tone, everything is pretty much the same. The only difference is the armor, the weaponry he has, and the coloring. So like he has, as I said, Zodak's armor done in black. It's also known as the cosmic armor because Zodak is the cosmic enforcer. He has black versions of the wrist guards, so whereas He-Man has the, depending on which He-Man you get, he has the orange ones, or I think the one for the San Diego Comic-Con version of He-Man when it was first released had gold, or the yellow. So there is that. But overall, he is pretty much a standard He-Man figure, just with a more brown, a black belt with more brown fuzzy loins, and he has all black boots instead of the boots with the yellow furry bits on them. He has all the same articulation, so he does have the 2 peg holes, he has the knee joint, he has the legs that can split out, he has the waist swivel, he has the rotating arms, single jointed elbow, rotating wrists with hinge, head is on a ball joint, and just like with all the other Masters figures, he does pop apart, so you can mix and match figures if you want. But he is essentially a He-Man clone of sorts, or just another version of He-Man. But depending on which way you look at him in the line, I think this guy, like this guy would have been a mail away. He does indeed come with his Lost Legend comic book. Now, I'm not sure if this was the one I was packed in with the Classics version. There was a Classics version of this guy done, which I do have, but I don't have them with me, so I can't really compare the two. But essentially, it's very similar. The only difference is the armor they used. The Hordak, or I keep calling it Hordak, the Zodak armor that they used for the Origins one is more akin to the Origins and original Zodak armor, whereas the Zodak armor they used for the Classics version has that newer 4 Horsemen updated sculpt, so it encloses into the back and has like a armor plating piece on the back. So, and what's interesting about the one that they did for Classics is they actually incorporated the Wonder Bread little logo on it, with kind of, it's like a white with yellow, blue, and then red, I think, on it. But here is the mini comic it comes with. So it's actually quite a few more pages than your standard mini comic. And thankfully it has all the speech bubbles, which is quite nice. So it's basically Wun-dar is living in a kind of village, a tribal village. He hears someone looking for help, he protects them. They tell him that they need to get to the Mystic Mountains and to Grayskull. Well, they don't say anything about Grayskull at the start. So he basically accompanies them to get to the Mystic Mountains. While doing so, they get attacked by those skeleton demon guys again. Mossman actually turns up, which is interesting. It just shows how old Mossman is, if he's been around since the dawn of He-Man and Grayskull. So that's kind of cool, and hopefully it's a good indication that we will be getting a Mossman figure somewhere down the line. I mean, after all, it is an easy repaint of Beastman, just in green with flock. I'm assuming I wouldn't even say they have issues doing the flocking, because they've already done a flocked Panther, and that has all the joints that were, they didn't have to miss any of the joints. So there's that. So basically, as the story progresses, he ends up with the cosmic armor, and he ends up with a blaster. So he has cosmic armor and a blaster, and Shirella, actually, as she's called here. So it's not Battlegrounds Teela, but the design for Battlegrounds Teela was based off this character's design. Shirella becomes a goddess, or otherwise known as Green Goddess, or I think they call her the Cosmic Goddess. Or is it the green? It's basically a green version of Tila with exact same gear and just done in kind of a pale minty green skin tone. In Origins, they did do a figure for for Classics as well. And in the Classics version of that, she was translucent green, and there was issues down the line where the plastic started becoming more and more fragile over time and was breaking. So I'm not sure if they redid her with a kind of non-translucent version, but all I know is that there was issues with the original Green Goddess figure that they did. These were new figures. They were never, like, all the stories for Savage, He-Man and Wun-dar are based on old comic strips, but they never actually made figures for Green Goddess. There is debate whether this guy exists for real. I know some people have found him in the wild, so it depends, unless if you count it as a custom or a legitimate thing. So there was a lot of speculation at the time whether he was real or not, but he seems to be a real thing, so we'll just stick with it being real. So overall, he's a pretty cool figure. Now, at the time of this recording, he was sold out on Mattel Creations, but I think later this month, if you're watching this, if I get this video uploaded in time, they are supposed to be reissuing him as a made-to-order figure. Now, literally a week, no, it was actually even less, it was a couple of days after I ordered mine from eBay at an exorbitant price. Well, it wasn't that exorbitant, but it was way more than he was normally sold for, because he's only a $20 figure on the Mattel Creation website. I ended up paying over the odds for him, and it was 2 days later, Mattel announced that they were going to be doing a rerun or reissue of him for people who missed out on them originally, which is kind of a shame because all the scalpers that already bought a whole ton of them were selling them at ludicrous prices on eBay. So I do recommend trying holding out for him to get that reissue, and then if you can't get him that way, then it's back to eBay or secondary markets. But try not pay the scalper price for him, because he is only around $20, so hopefully that with the reissue it might drop that price down a bit from what I paid for him, so it might be just a little over retail. But overall, he's a cool figure. He's just bring He-Man in. He's just basically a repaint of He-Man, but he's kind of cool with the whole the brown hair. He looks different enough that he can be a different character, or whichever way you want to run him. But he's pretty good, so I do recommend getting him if you're a fan of Wun-dar, or you know the history behind the character. He's quite a cool figure, but he's an easy pass for people who aren't a completist for the line, or don't need to get every single figure. You can easily pass on them. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick video review for Wun-dar, and as always, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel.